Awesome. Hey, y'all. So we'll get right into it. I'll be covering the Connect topic for today. And let's see if this is working. All right. So what I wanted to do initially in leading into this Connect topic and conversation is first bring up Industry 4.0, not only to preface this conversation, but to set the stage for a lot of solution concepts that are out there in the industry now that AVEVA is supporting in the back end, especially with the Connect infrastructure that we'll be seeing here too. So as we get through these few slides here, keep in mind some of the concepts that the solution can fit in for your space. Now, if it lets me go to the second page. I also wanted to include a couple of statistical points that highlight not only the need for something like this, but also, some of the challenges when you start approaching, how do we achieve this or that in terms of accessing data for the enterprise from the plant floor. So if we look at these, we're looking at, 20% of the data within the enterprise goes unused. And of that small percentage, 24 of that is actually digestible. And if you think about those two data points, it really shows you, the opportunity within the future of how to increase your capabilities there at the business. And then also, so, some of the challenges that our customers are facing when trying to roll out these type of concepts are, informational silos throughout the operational space. How do we connect, data point A in silo one to silo two and correlate them with a single asset? How do we normalize this data? Where do we normalize this data? A lot of questions that we get and a lot of, concerns and challenges that customers are bringing to us as we have these conversations. And it's again a growing topic in popularity. And so how Connect or Aviva fits into the spaces, and just to kind of maybe take a step back too is Aviva extends well beyond the HMI SCADA space. I know Mike showed a couple of our core components within the HMI SCADA space, but as the industry looks beyond the OT space and into the enterprise network and enterprise reporting and cloud computing and access to all this real-time information, it's really going to take some purpose-built effort to establish a data infrastructure to kind of facilitate this data throughput. And this is, from the Aviva perspective, where Connect fits very well for those conversations. And there's a lot of features built in within Connect, as you can see and hear from Maury and Mike's presentations with, unified engineering and point cloud integration to a visualization that's side by side with your operational data. Today, for my section in this topic, I'm going to cover a couple of core services within Connect. And those core services are data services and visualization. But from a very high level, one of the ways that we address, for example, the challenge of data silos is the ability to consolidate all of these desperate data sources, whether it's remote asset via the IoT device out in wherever. If it's a native Aviva applications from Pi to InTouch, Edge, System Platform, whatever that native adapter is, has the ability or will have the ability coming soon to replicate data to the Connect platform. And then also keep in mind that this is not only isolated and limited to Aviva native connectors, but we can also reach third-party components to collect this information up and aggregate it up in the cloud. The other core component that I'll be discussing is the visualization service, and you'll see that here coming up shortly. But also keep in mind, who this information is servicing. Whether you need remote monitoring from a business, your data science folks need some help on modeling and molding the time series data to condition for the commercial data, database and reporting, or you need to share this information externally with either a vendor, supplier, consultant, without having to break the network, VPN barrier in a secure approach. So, like I mentioned, the core component or one of the core components within the Connect space is Connect Data Services. And this is ultimately the data service package where we can collect all this disparate information into a single platform, contextualize, shape, and share this information. So as data is received into Connect, your Connect admin has the ability of contextualizing that information in something that's more easily digestible for the reporting consumer, and also has access to the metadata that's coming up with each data point. And we call that modeling process is a data view basically. So you're able to model data views from multiple different data sources into something that's, like I said, easily digestible or natively or seamlessly integrated with third-party BI components like Power BI. They have the ability to extract these data views, these models from the Connect platform and seamlessly integrate them with your traditional BI reports. Um, and also, like I mentioned before, you have the ability of sharing this information with your industrial ecosystem, whether that's some equipment manufacturer, external analytics provider, or consultant. More on that data sharing concept. I know this one's is a large value for a lot of our customers who are having to jump through hoops when trying to share information with vendors. If it's some chemical tank that the vendor needs to monitor to know when to come resupply, or whatever the use case may be. Ultimately, this is a feature built into Connect data services where the administrator can create this shared tenant and assign data to that tenant for that external access. It's a secured approach. Again, no need for external access to your networks or to your data tables or any other systems within your network. This is all via cloud, and it ultimately pushes the responsibility on the external resource to kind of access that information. The other core component that I mentioned earlier was Connect visualization. I know Maury had a couple of slides on that showed some of the in-depth features with the point cloud integration, but it's not limited to, again, just the AVEVA ecosystem of engineering tools. You can also incorporate these third-party components, like I mentioned before, within the data services environment and have them accessible within this visualization interface. So whether that's GIS, if you want to throw in a GIS data or model within your visualization interface alongside with HR information, real-time production efficiencies. You can have a user entered information, asset models, performance analytics, maintenance scheduling. It's really not limited to any of those. And you really have access to this Connect visualization interface in a couple of different flavors where you can have self-service mode where you have the ability of drag dropping and creating these screens as a dashboard in any way you really want to see fit. Something that's customizable to your needs, your specific needs as a user within the environment. AVEVA also has a library of predefined um, graphics, predefined analytics models, something we call industry accelerators for Connect, something to streamline your time to value once you adopt a platform. So that way you're not having to, reinvent the wheel. AVEVA's done it for you here and streamlines your access to a library of these industry accelerators to, you know, again, streamline your time to value without the need of, a very large engineering services or programming involved. It's built to be more of an out-of-the-box connector and capability. So lastly, I want to kind of touch on a couple of use cases and success stories. One being with F. Hoffman Roche and what they were kind of as they approach the Industry 4.0 concepts. And I think a lot of on the IT space, the first, go to is to throw everything in a data lake. And I think what they found and what we're trying to communicate to our customers is that trying to push time series data into a commercial data lake is going to create some pains down the road. Uh, Mostly given because the commercial model for those commercial data lakes is per storage. All right, so terabytes, as you can see here for this use case, easily and quickly turns into petabytes when we're talking about time series information, ultimately depending on the poll rate and how much information you're pushing. But for the most part, it gets pretty, pretty expensive, depending on, how much data you're pushing up into the cloud. So one of the value statements or a big benefit with Connect's commercial model is that it's not structured on storage. It's not structured on how many tags you're throwing up to the cloud. It's really structured on how many data points are you accessing in any given month. So I usually tell customers you can throw up your entire data footprint, but you're only charged on what you consume from month to month in terms of flex credits. So getting through this use case, they were able to identify, the value in our commercial model and migrated from the commercial data lake to the cloud data services and streamline this information end to end to the business while also, saving some cost on the data storage side. Next is the mining metals and minerals use case example up in Canada, where again, highlighting back to the Industry 4.0 and all the concepts that are surrounding that standard in conversation is the ability to integrate OT data with IT. And I know OT IT is kind of been a long coming conversation, but now I think it's getting to the point of realization, and especially with third-party partners such as Databricks allows you and our customers the ability to seamlessly integrate operational data with your IT data structures. And so this is something that this use case took on and was very successful and becoming very popular. As you can see, the Databricks namespace is being uh, not only in the AVEVA World presentations, but you've seen a couple of instances of it today. So now, well, lastly, I wanted to show what that looks like in terms of the complete OT IT convergence and how Connect fits in the middle space of that delivery to your business, where there is a connection between ultimately, I mean, all your information that's coming from these disparate data sources on the left of the Connect image are then normalized conditions modeled within the Connect space and then made available through a connector for Databricks that makes it seem native to the Databricks environment. So you can query this time series information very easily alongside with your ERP, CRM, and other enterprise data sources to truly unify the data space.